going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. I help people using a spiritual perspective. Today I'm going to be talking about deja vu. Right? What's the spiritual meaning of deja vu? You probably have your own thoughts and opinions on this. This is just mine. But I have come to realize or notice or observe other such synonyms that deja vu is the exact feeling of being on the right path. So I seem to get deja vu in almost as if a recognition that I've already been here before, that I've already been doing something. So in science, deja vu, though there is no categorical sort of explanation for it, it is possible that the scientific explanation is that it's sort of a lapse in your own brain. Okay, that there's something going on with your brain. It sort of like misses a time. Like it's there's a lapse, right? So it's like you miss like a couple of seconds, and then so your brain has to recalibrate to get back on the same page. So it speeds itself up. So then you get the effect of deja vu. But the spiritual meaning of it that I've come to observe is that you're on the right path. That there's a recognition. Other times you get into this area where you feel like deja vu is something familiar. So you might go to a place that you have physically never been to before, and yet it elicits a response of comfort, safety, remembrance, familiarity. So for instance, there was a time where I went to this place, this like a little campsite in Long Island, and I felt like it was like deja vu. I had this overwhelming sense of deja vu. But it wasn't just this idea that it felt like I was on the right path. I was probably 13 or 14 at the time, but it more felt like that I had been to that location before. And so there's other times in my life where I've been to certain countries, certain places that give me that same response. Whereas other times, you don't get that same feeling, but you still get deja vu. It could be just laying on the couch and looking out the window and then seeing clouds move across, and you get these ideas and you have these thoughts, and then something just clicks in your brain like, oh, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And that's kind of what I see deja vu as. Now, the absence or the presence of deja vu I don't think is necessarily an indicator that you are or aren't on the right path. What I mean by that is if you don't experience a lot of deja vu, I don't think that you should use that as a sign like, oh shit, you're not on the right path or something like that. But having deja vu, for those of us that do, because I get it quite a bit since my spiritual awakening a lot, and by a lot I probably mean once a month maybe, but that's sort of a lot, I think. Sometimes it could be more than that, but there's these moments where I'm just thinking something and I'm like, I thought this before. Or I'm taking an action, doing something, and I've done this before, even though I haven't. And to me, it's like that idea, that feeling that you are in the right place, that you are heading in the right direction, that whatever you're doing, you're catching up to that. You're catching up to your higher self's plan. So imagining that your higher self has a plan for you, and others can claim that it's a God or angels or guides. That's not my whole thing. But saying that you have this. I'm not even kidding, guys. I just had deja vu right now. I'm not even kidding. I just saw a plane out the window, and that just gave me the feeling of my next step. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's actually really strange. But so had your higher self being in a place where you're doing something, being in a place where your higher self has this plan for you, where your life is planned out. 2 months down the line, 6 years, whatever, it doesn't matter. You find your place. You find yourself in a place that is now lining up with your higher self's story. So it's like the character in a novel. The deja vu would be recognizing that they're in a novel, just albeit briefly, just going, oh, I feel like this is part of something. This is part of a scheme or a plan or an energy or a link. This is part of something. And you become aware of that very quickly, and it humbles you, and it makes you very self-aware, and it grounds you, and you feel almost magical for maybe a few moments or a minute or two, and then obviously you forget about it and you go back to feeling normal. But when that deja vu lasts, which is not very long, but up to a minute or two maybe if you're lucky, those feelings, when you have them, it gives you a response that you are no longer the identity. You feel like you're in the story. So it is like breaking the fourth wall, so to speak, which you would think of in terms of media, like TV and movies and things like that. So getting into that, like that idea that you are now on par or on pace with the story that's already written for you is a really kind of fun feeling. It's a very interesting feeling, and it gives you something that I think is supposed to just be like a little nudge or a little pat in the back, or even beyond that, just a recognition for your own sake that, hey, even though whatever's going on the outside, seeing something that makes you feel that way is a good sign that you are actually lining up with your particular path, regardless of how you think that you're doing. So that's how I interpret Deja Vu. That's how I see it. That's how I've looked at it for a long time. Even before the spiritual awakening, it always felt like it was a recognition. That's what it always felt like. If I had to narrow down Deja Vu to one word, it would be recognition. And that is the feeling that it gives me. That's the feeling, I think, what it gives to other people as well. And so to me, it's just a way of your higher self, or the universe, however you want to look at it, letting us know that we are indeed stepping up to the right spot in the right moment.